To them by the Imperial Government of Germany in agreement with the Government of the French Republic to meet for those purposes in the Conference of Berlin and have appointed as to the plenipotentiaries to wit, who, being provided with full powers which have been found in good and due form, successfully discussed and adopted. 1. A declaration relative to freedom of trade and basic embouchure and embouchures. 1. A declaration relative to freedom of trade in the Basin of Congo, its embouchures and circumjacent regions with other provisions connected therewith. 2. A declaration relative to the slave trade and operations by sea or land which furnish slaves to that trade. Who, being provided with full powers which have been found in good and due form, have successfully discussed and adopted. 1. A declaration relative to freedom of trade in the Basin of the Congo, its embouchures and circumjacent. 1. A declaration relative to freedom of trade in the Basin of the Congo, its embouchures and circumjacent regions. Buttoned.
That's a nice land. It's full of music. That's nice. Welcome. So today, I'm going to share with you a few stories from our adventures and travels and everything. But first, to warm us up, I'm going to teach you a song. Okay? Yeah. Oh, bien. He's from Colombia. Does that say that there? No. Actually, there's no words. It's all humming. Okay, so the beginning is. Got it? Should you? You speak Spanish, right?
Yeah. Yes. No. Yeah. Do. Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Could you, it's a bit of an emergency, so I need your help.
Yeah.
Can you come with me to the Foreign Relations Office, please?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Cuba.
Yes.
Havana.
That's where we are, so.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Okay.
Hello?
Hola.
Está cerrado.
She says it's closed. It's closed. Sorry.
Okay, how long for?
¿Por cuánto tiempo?
Un momento.
One moment. Yeah. Just said it in translation.
Do you?
Sign. Okay.
Yeah. Is it it's rush?
Tenemos prisa. Por favor.
Ya entra.
Okay, go in.
Yeah.
Come in.
Okay. Hello. Can we sit down here?
¿Podemos sentar aquí?
Sí, ahí.
Okay.
No, abajo.
Oh, lower. Yeah.
Más abajo.
The lower. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
Gracias.
So basically, I am a student in Cuba, and I was on a student visa, and then I went on holiday.
Soy estudiante en Cuba y tengo una visa estudiante y fui de vacaciones en México. And
And when I came back in, they said I had to get a tourist visa to come back in.
Okay. Y cuando volvió me dijeron que I can't really like the grammar not very good. Tuve que comprar una visa. What kind of visa?
Tourist.
Turística.
I got that tourist visa, and now I'm trying to go home, and they won't let me out because I have the wrong visa.
Yeah. Eso lo compré, pero no me dejan salir porque tengo la visa mala, incorrecta.
Claro.
Of course, yeah, of course they did.
Okay, so how do I get out?
¿Cómo puedo salir?
Hay que hacer los trámites correctos.
We have to do the correct paperwork.
What's that?
¿Y qué es?
Hay que rellenar esta ficha,
Okay.
entregarlo a la universidad, volver y así lo puedo hacer.
Okay, we have to fill this in and then take it to the university, and then bring it here, and then that's it.
Okay, so I have a flight on Thursday, so I need it soon. Is that possible?
Tengo un avión el jueves. ¿Es posible hacerlo rápido?
Pues, claro, mañana la oficina está cerrada en la universidad, entonces, no, y después de eso tarda 2 semanas.
So the office is closed on Thursday. It'll take 2 weeks.
This is closed on Thursdays. Okay, so I need a quicker option. There must be a quick.
Okay.
I'll pay.
¿Tiene dinero? ¿Hay una opción más rápida?
It's
Una emergencia.
Pues sí, tenemos la opción de hacer el proceso rápido que de 24 horas.
Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah. They have the rapid process, which takes just
Okay, great.
24
So
hours. 24 hours.
that
okay.
one, we want that one.
Eso.
That one.
Queremos
Eso.
eso. Sí.
See.
24 horas.
Ya, pues aquí está la ficha.
See? Well, yeah. Here's the thing.
Right. Okay. So okay, great. So I can get my flight for Thursday.
El avión el
So
jueves está bien,
24 hours.
¿no? 24
And I'll bring it
horas.
back to you.
Todo bien.
Yeah.
Pues claro, porque trabajamos 8 horas por día. Está cerrado la oficina el viernes y claro, no trabajamos el fin de semana. Entonces, miércoles de la semana que viene, me imagino que pues Tomar tu vuelo.
Yeah. Yeah. So, not great.
Okay.
So it's a 24-hour process,
Yeah.
but they work 8 hours a day. They're closed on Thursday,
Well,
and
that's,
it's
I
a
mean,
weekend, so
that's,
yeah.
what am I, how do I get out? How do I get out?
¿Cómo
How do I get out? How do I get out? How do I get out?
Hay que esperar.
You gotta wait.
I've got to wait.
Yeah.
I've got to wait. Well, I can't wait. I have to get home. I can't wait. Get out.
Tengo que ir a casa. No puedo esperar.
No.
¿Cómo hace? I'm gonna ask what do Cuban students do? How does it?
Yeah.
¿Cómo lo hacen los estudiantes cubanos?
Los estudiantes cubanos no viajan, no pueden.
No, yes, no, yeah, they don't. Cuban students don't. They don't really travel.
Okay. What?
Should we just? I think we should just go. Yes. Let's just go.
Los ricos que vienen acá no tienen ni idea, están con su dinero, con su visa, no quieren ni la vida.
The sun beats down on a river of time, a stretch on the path, a delirious life, addicted to forging another connection to the life of another man's driving past. Horse-trekking pensioner takes us cross borders, shows us a glimpse of his ranch in the hills. 20 short years ago I was no rider, now I am living the dream at my will. Oh, there's always another hitch to be caught on the roadside. If you don't catch a ride, you still jump inside. Oh, there's always another hitch to be caught on the roadside. If you don't catch a lift, there's something to give for the adventure begins. Oh, there's always nothing to be caught on the roadside. We come to ride and stop to the side, but oh, there's always nothing to be caught on the roadside. Okay, so that's just like a generic one, obviously. There are a few geographically dependent songs. So this next one, this is sort of about ex-Yugoslav countries, and so it's about Serbia and Croatia and Kosovo and a little kind of just what it's like to grow up in a country that's falling apart. So yeah, just remember it. Because parents bought a plot of land in 1989. They had everything to build the house of their dreams. Windows, concrete, tiles for the floor, bricks, cement and sand. They had everything to build the house of their dreams. What they didn't need was the gradual decline of the Yugoslav Republic country as it interrupts by presidential laws, just bridging up and the dream was fit together. Homes and houses tearing at the sea. greatest task of all. Never write, you'd wrap it up on paper and you'd leave it on the shelf. And before it was even a week or two, you'd rip it out each time, screaming that the flavor would destroy you. Driving out alone to his children in the south of France and ever temporary home. What he never needed, what he never needed, was the personal decline of the youth and the years to broad presidential goals, official measures between those who together, homes and houses tearing at the seam. Tell a country it has done wrong, lock its doors closed, but remember that everyone has a story of their own. Nico's parents bought a plot of land in 1989. They had everything to build the house of their dreams. But when the sanctions came, it was a different day. They just had to survive a change purpose of life. They sold it all. They sold the windows. They sold it all. They sold the bricks. They sold it all. They sold their dreams. They sold it all. They sold it all. They sold it all. They sold the windows. They sold it all. They sold the bricks. They sold it all. They sold their dreams. They sold it all. They sold it all. They sold it all. There we go. Politics. Okay, I'll do one more. This is about a man that we met in Ukraine who was running a youth hostel. And he was a very friendly man and he was really super sociable. Like he was very into Facebook and was trying to play Super Duel across the gym for the following 6 months. And as we met him, he did this thing where he took this accordion in his hands and he said, "Oh, you should play the accordion." And he's like, he picked it up and he's like, "I haven't played for years." And he started to play and he was like, "I don't know what hands are doing." And then like it was like a magical trick. So and our tune came out of him. So this is about him. This is a someone else's story.
When we crossed the border into Australia, arrival from Thailand, we've been travelling for a very long time. I think we've been travelling for about 24 hours, involving like a string of coaches and taxis and all sorts. And we were all absolutely exhausted. And we had this sort of quite long flight to Thailand. We finally arrived in Cairns, and they're very, very strict on the borders in Australia. So they have a very, very strict quarantine in place whereby you're not allowed to bring any organic matter that's come from another country, and there are quite hefty fines in place. So while we were queuing up for, customs, I guess, there were lots of signs saying, do you have anything in your bag? Do you have anything to declare? Lots of like amnesty bins to throw things away. And when we got to the passport checkpoint, because we've come from Thailand, which is apparently a bit of a drugs hotspot, we were immediately sent to have our bags checked. And my friend T-Man opened his bag. Obviously we got asked to declare again whether we had anything in our bags that shouldn't be there, and we all said no. Andrew opened his bag, the first thing in there was a large bunch of bananas that he bought earlier on, and it's just completely forgotten about. And somehow he managed to talk his way out of being fined, I don't know, something like 200 quid, because he managed to persuade the guy that he just literally forgotten that they were in there. All three of us had a bit of a problem because Colin had some sand at the bottom of his bag, and they tested it and told him that it was heroin, and they ended up testing it 3 times using 2 different tests before they eventually accepted that it was just sand. And I opened my bag and found that my can of shaving foam had exploded over everything in my bag. And that's that story.
Have you ever heard of a place called Zakhan? Nor had I. But I spent 4 days at the border at Zakhan. And Zakhan is very much the one-horse town of Hungary. The one-horse town of Hungary where the horse is seriously ill, if not deceased. It's a pretty desolate place. And I was there, I volunteered to be there, I was volunteering there. So Zakhan was the designated border crossing for refugees entering Europe to go to Western Europe. And basically they were being put onto trains in Croatia and being taken to the border, and they would walk a couple of kilometers over a muddy field at the border between Croatia and Hungary, and then put on another train and then shipped up to Austria. So volunteering entailed sleeping in a big bag in a truck for 4 nights, not sleeping much, and spending most of the hours of the day packing food parcels and carrying them up along a railway track and trying to avoid various heavily armed police officers and soldiers with AK-47s who weren't particularly happy that we were there, but they were allowing us to be there. And so the trains would arrive with around 1,000 volunteers, 1,000 refugees, about 4 times a day. We never really knew when it was going to come. There wasn't much warning. Sometimes the train would come in the middle of the night, it'd be hammering it down with rain, and we'd have to help them walk across those long muddy fields in the middle of the night with nothing more than a small torch to light the path. And there were old men and women, babies, toddlers who needed help carrying across the field. A lot of people got injured, there wasn't really any medical help, and the police weren't particularly sympathetic. There was occasional brutality. It was quite a harrowing experience. So I was doing it for 4 days, and very exhausted by the end of it, but quite emboldened. Felt inspired to help out more in some way after I got home, and heard more and more on the news about the situation in Calais. And obviously Calais is a lot closer to home than Hungary, and it seems as if things have been getting progressively worse in Calais. There have been camps there for tens of years, but there were more people living in Calais than ever a few months ago, so I thought it'd be a good idea to do some kind of volunteering expedition there, and it could potentially be a nice community experience. So I think a few of them in this room very kindly helped out by donating clothes and money to me and one of my friends, Tom, and after a few weeks of basically gathering all of the second-hand clothes in the village and some very kind donations from people, we headed to Calais in a van and didn't really know what to expect at all. We made a bit of a contact with a sort of informal volunteering agency in Calais, and basically tied up with our van and a video camera, and our intention was to document as much as we could. We didn't really have any idea about what kind of film we wanted to make, we just wanted to film while we were there and our experience, and be able to feed back to the people who helped us get there something about our experience and be slightly authentic about that. So this is the finished film documenting our experience. Just before we went to Calais, the French authorities announced a plan to evict 1,000 people from the southern part of the camp. For whatever reason, we decided this would be a good time to go.
So, because obviously we're near the coastline, a lot of it's actually sort of within like sand dunes, as you can see there.
Yeah.
Whereas more over towards the main entrance.
Yeah.
You've got the more like pebbled sort of road. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Fine.
How are you?
Lean.
It's very wet.
Okay.
The main sort of path, like the restaurants and stuff like that. One of the boundaries, just up there, they've got a fence coming along, which I think quite recently put up, 16-foot fence.
Yeah.
As you get near sort of the port and the Euro country. sweaty hat, it's not good for the scalp. Fish, avec mustard. Bin bags. I hope they like dates, because we just bought about 90 bags. And mackerel. And this sort of different sauces. It's quite appetizing actually.
The jungle is unlike any other place in the world. It's like walking into a foreign land, but one that has no fixed way of life. It's as if there are no clearly established customs or conventions. It's uncanny and fascinating.
Oh no. Forgot I had a bubble on my head. Right, I think that's essentially it, mate. Just got to take it over to Le Auberge.
Le Auberge.
And hope they're satisfied with the results.
Sweet, man.
Feels good.
Yeah, boy.
Right, let's get rid of this trolley ASAP.
We had essentially turned up a few days before in our van, which was full of donated clothes that we'd collected and some money we'd raised. We headed to one of the volunteering warehouses and became volunteers. But we didn't have long to stay, and we'd hardly seen the camp at all.
What do you reckon?
Well, we can either go back to the warehouse or the jungle.
Yeah, let's go to the jungle.
Yeah, let's go to the jungle.
Jungle?
Oh yeah.
Surprisingly, you are allowed to just walk in and look around, and what you see is sprawling and complex. There are main roads and side streets and back alleys and paths. There are different neighborhoods. There are shops, restaurants, community centers, religious buildings, volunteering hubs. There's a theater, and there are new things being constructed everywhere. There is a richness to life inside this place.
Hello.
And there are 6,000 people living here. Of course, nobody wants to be living here, it's just they aren't allowed to go to the UK. In fact, they're barely allowed to stay here. They are permitted to stay here. For the moment, anyway. So here we are, refugees, volunteers, the police, the UK, France, and whoever else, all of us involved. Somehow involved in creating this place. The big question is, what do you do when you realize that you are involved? Do you acknowledge it? Do you sympathize? Do you recognize the power that you have to help? Or do you think about yourself? Stay closed. Continue on.
day after we left, we heard the eviction was going ahead. The jungle is a fascinating and oddly homely place, but without security, stability, or ownership, it's really no kind of home at all. Did we do enough?
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone. For the most today. Is everyone okay?
Should all the performers have a quick bow before we hear your stories?